always forget. Thank you for reminding me each time. So today, I'm hoping it looks like we've got a couple discussions about ROSBEG 2, which is the majority of what we want to, or at least what I have on my mind right now. So we'll get to that. First, for attendance, if I could ask someone to just take a quick note from the AWS team, that would help me. As for last meeting's action items, let's take a see. I have not started the Matrix chat. This whole shelter-in-place thing really has me all out of whack. I just moved apartments too. So, anyways, GitHub Actions top level description of provided use case. There's not really that. And then, what is this? OpenROS bag 2, bag B2 PR. I believe this was to change the build to failing, which I think we have done, just so that it's not giving us a false yellow when it's actually red, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, I should have put more details here. So for now, we're going to assume that's done unless it comes up. And then we did take a look at the Coverity action. We don't have any immediate plans to do anything with that. So we'll just keep that on our minds. But that's what we wanted to do from last time. Other than that, I guess we'll just do a status update on the projects we have going. I personally am working on ROSBEG 2 right now. We're trying to use QoS profiles adaptively in order to subscribe to topics that don't use the default profile and are maybe not even compatible with it. For example, sensor data QoS right now, ROSBEG 2 won't record. So far, I have made it so that the bag records the offered QoS profiles in the metadata. It's not using them right now. It's just storing them down for posterity. And what I'm working on right now, hopefully get up for pull request today, is actually using those offered QoS profiles to subscribe to the data. So that should get us to stop dropping entire topics, at least in most cases. And then I also saw that we got in from Karsten a PR that allows to record hidden topics. Or was it already recording hidden topics and now it defaults to not doing that?
Yeah, it's more like the inverse.
Okay.
You can just like in ROS2 topic or like the other command line tools, the hidden topics are not being recorded by default. And if you want them, you have the option now to explicitly call them with -- include hidden topics kind of thing.
That makes sense. Cool. Was there anything else that went in since the last meeting? I don't think so, but if there's something else in progress, I think someone was working on, or someone commented on the issue saying they were working on looping, but I don't know if we know anything more than that.
I think the PRs for topic filtering, they should be somewhat stable and hopefully be in soon.
Cool. As for cross-compile, what did I say last time? I said I was going to release to PyPy today. I did release new version to PyPy. Sorry, I might be moving too fast. Was there anything else we wanted to note down for ROSBEG? I think we have a lot more discussions about it farther down. Okay. Did release new version of PyPy 0.4.0 with all the new improvements. Announced that on Discourse. And then we're continuing to work on little things, but most of our effort is focused on ROSBEG right now, or at least mine is. For system metrics, we have a lot of work going on.
One question for the ROSBEG QoS querying. My audio didn't work before, sorry. How is it going to record if you have a single topic with like a reliable and a best effort publisher?
Yeah, so we're handling this case by printing a warning and falling back to the default. So we're querying the QoS, and if there's more than one type of more than one QoS profile offered, we're just falling back to a default behavior instead of trying to adaptively deal with it. I've got some ideas about how in a future version we could potentially subscribe successfully to both topics, but it was too much complexity to make it in for Foxy.
So default means then best effort, which is fine.
Yeah, default means RMW QoS profile default, which is reliable, I believe.
Oh, so then you don't record the best effort ones anymore.
Correct. But that's only in the case where you have multiple publishers with different offered QoS, which is not the most common case, I don't think. And we do print out a big warning about it.
But that means if you have the case, you can't use ROS-spec to record them.
We are also, sorry, one of the features that we're trying to put in here for Foxy is the ability to explicitly override the QoS profile for both recording and playback for a given topic.
Okay.
So, yeah, so an advanced user who's setting up this situation can specify exactly what QoS to use to record. It's definitely not the most friendly, but someone who understands about the compatibility rules will be able to.
No, sounds good. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah. Upcoming explicit override for profiles. That one's probably gonna start on it early next week. Yeah. Okay. So for system metrics, do we have Devin or Projecta online?
Yeah, I can give an update on that. So we have open PRs to contribute topic statistics for ROS 2. We are actively reviewing them, so they should be in soon.
Is that within the system metrics repository?
Yes, it's within the system metrics repository right now. We may end up changing the package structure a little bit once we start contributing things to RCL CPP, but for now it's in system metrics. We also had a design discussion with William about adding system metrics in RCL CPP, and the feedback was mostly positive with a couple minor changes. Devin is working on implementing that right now, and we are also hoping to get that in Foxy.
What is the thoughts about RCL-Pi, about the Python client right now?
I don't think we have discussed contributing it to RCL-Pi, at least not for Foxy.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Right.
This is just one of the cases where you will have to duplicate a lot of work if afterwards you want to refactor the code to actually work in C, that it can also satisfy RCL-Pi.
Yeah.
I think it is very C++ right now.
Extra work.
It's entirely C++ now, all the libraries.
Which we could theoretically provide a C API to it, which would make it something you could tie in. I know we're depending on plenty of C++ things that just provide a C API for RCL itself. But that's something. It sounds like that's not something we can get in for this release.
The usual huge overhead is you need C API for all the data structures. That's usually you need an interface to allocate every stupid array, and that's usually what takes you the most time.
Yeah,
right.
That part's pretty annoying.
Yeah. So
Okay.
no, we don't have a plan for that right now.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, clarify. Okay, and then GitHub Actions, I don't have any updates on. We had a issue with the melodic packages. I don't know if we've solved that yet. But I was able to install. Yeah, I don't know if we want to go into problem solving on this. I know that the fix is in progress. Someone's at least working on it. I think Devin right now.
Yeah, we have the on-call taking a look at that. So yeah, we'll have updates on that soon.
Okay. Cool. Then that's all of our sub-projects that exist right now. Excuse me. We have no pull requests, and I have an issue which I keep meaning to reopen as a PR instead now that we have closing to be a PR according to the new PR templates. There. And this was just to add the ROS1 bridge plugin for ROSVEG 2 to this project officially, just to say that we do maintain that, which we are doing anyways, but it's not, doesn't say so on our document. Okay, project board. Let's take a look. What are we working on? Well, this one is now in progress, which is the using QoS for something, and I'm going to put me on this because I am doing the code. Karsten, do you want me to take you off or leave you on there? It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Okay. Action ROS unable to test. Let's see. Should we look at the ones that are in progress? I think that's been handy in the past to realize things that weren't actually in progress. Do we have Zach on the call? No. Okay. So Greenkeeper stuff for Action Amazon Chime. In progress on December 20. This is not in progress. Okay. Then I will not show PRs right now. Figure PRs are happening in offline review. Then I definitely see Mabel working on improving the Python API, so that's in progress. Catkin package is missing. Anyone from our side have more context on whether we made progress on this? This is what is, yeah, it's just causing the one build fail, right?
Yeah, this was the ROSVEG 2 v2 issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember trying different approaches for some reason. They didn't work. I don't know why the CI, like the GitHub Actions environment, is different than the local.
Okay, was this something where you were just going to like reinstall it manually because it got uninstalled during the ROS1 installation? I think we've had this discussion a couple times now.
Yes.
I just want to see it finished, or that, or I guess, well, yeah, I don't want to take it out of in progress. I'd rather we got it done. But it is not blocking us right now, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I have limited time. Enable Windows CI and GitHub Actions. I tried running this last night, and it definitely does not work. Oh, and this was on ROSVEG 2 specifically. Yeah, so I opened ROSVEG 2. Or did I close it? Where did I open it? I'm so confused. Oh well. Anyways,
I thought I had one open.
I think you opened it straight up on the ROSVEG 2.
You're on the.
Yeah, I opened one on ROSVEG 2.
Oh, so I did. I thought I was working on the fork. Anyways, yeah, so I tried this myself. I'm sure that you all have done so as well. And it's something in the ROSDEP isn't installed.
So I tried it as well. One time it was ROSDEP, one time it was async IO. And I think the better approach to this is just using a Docker image, similar to the ones that OSRF are using. Just removing any of the like extra visualization stuff. Yeah, because this is this async IO issue is something that's even already seen like when you try to install Windows locally. So maybe just using the Docker image would be the best.
Just one thing on that. So there is no Windows Docker image in Docker support for GitHub Actions.
Oh. Well then.
Wait, we can't use Windows Docker images?
No.
I'm guessing that their virtual hosts here don't have a Docker agent installed.
Well, and there is also all the pipelining work which is missing right now.
Yeah. Well, anyways, this is, I don't think, in progress. Yeah. Is that accurate? I don't think anyone's working on this.
Yeah, let's move this to the backlog.
Okay. Well then, let's take a look at the backlog. We've got unable to test code from personal forks. This is fixed upstream on code and it works without any changes on our side. It's nice. Because I was having the same problem on cross-compile. This cross-compile bug is still true. Prospect to CDR converter. Okay, I guess the most important thing is not to sit here going over the same issues we've gone over before, but to address the new ones that have come in. Got 10 things. Let's take care of them. This looks like something that is on the backlog for system metrics, which looks like a fairly little task. Topic mapping in play. We got a thumbs up from someone. Option to remap a topic in the way similar. Interesting. So this is something that like a launch file could handle already, right? Or no?
I think so, but I'm not completely sure.
Okay, but we want to have that ability in the command line for ROS2 bag. Sure, sounds like a useful feature. I wonder if it's available via like --ROS args or something. I don't know if that's generic to the whole CLI or if that's verb specific.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, launch is passing information somehow, right? So I think we could just repro that and put that as documentation as a step in the right direction.
Yeah, okay. This seems like a cool feature. Add integration test workflow with Action ROS CI to set up ROS. Frequently used together. It'd be good to have an integration test workflow on setup ROS to make sure that it doesn't break the upstream one. Yes, because setup ROS right now is the one that has a problem. Action ROS CI is the one that is displaying the problem in its regularly scheduled build. And it would be nice if it showed up as red in setup ROS before it made it upstream. Cool. I almost want to, yeah. Okay, no, it's not a bug, but. I'm just going to put Greenkeeper ones automatically on the backlog without reviewing them because that's boring. Prospect 2 transport crashes due to unsafe threading. And this is on Cyclone, or at least it was revealed in Cyclone testing. Cool. Bugs to the top of the backlog. This is in progress. Yes, this is the one that Devin's working on fixing that I brought up where the setup ROS is failing to properly install ROS melodic. And it seems like it happens since the sync. Yeah, some sort of caching thing, but who knows what exactly. This is an enhancement. And is it? Yeah, okay, so it's just been opened, bottom of the backlog. And then ColdCon not found after setup ROS. What do we got? ColdCon's not found after the setup ROS action. This. Okay, so this one we're still investigating. I'm just going to put it to the top of the backlog. And, Honest, are you, I guess, thanks for being responsive on that, and we'll see where that conversation goes. Okay, so that's all the new issues. Other than that, the backlog is in some sort of an ordering where Greenkeeper and bugs are near the top, and then the most important features are below that. So if anyone's looking for anything to do, that's the place to look. Now, we have other discussions about Dejan's and Nikolai's issues with ROSBEG 2 right now. Does anybody else have more context on this and would like to talk about it?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So Dan here. I actually first have a question. The board that you just showed us, is that only in your view, or because I don't think to have it.
Yeah, sorry. So to view it
the
on
link was
GitHub,
just sent to the chat, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry?
To view.
It should be in the chat right now. If you click on the link, you should be able to access it. You just need a GitHub ID.
Okay, so I have this Chime app the first time. So where's the chat?
Yeah, so it's ZenHub, which means that you can view it on GitHub if you install the browser extension, or you can view it on their website without any extensions. So did you guys link the ZenHub one or the GitHub one? You linked the ZenHub one directly. Good. Did you find that?
I think he pushed the wrong button. He dropped for a second.
Oh.
He's back.
Oops.
No, my Wi-Fi dropped.
Okay.
I guess. Okay, so it's in the chat. Then I'll find it. No problem. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, I see it. Can you put this maybe in the Google Doc also?
Yes.
Similar
Yes,
link, right?
that's a good idea. Why do I have 3 browsers open? This is a question only I can answer. Let's see. Project board review. Boom. There we go. I will put that link next to project board review. That makes sense. Yeah, thanks for asking. It's good to clear that stuff up. Okay, and then yeah. Okay, so let's talk about ROSBEG.
Yeah, so I think so. I and Alban here are actually just the messengers, really, from one of our partners, where they have essentially a full autonomous driving system, so autonomous car system, and they're trying to use ROSBEG to record the topics. I would like to believe that all the details are in the Medium post that Nikolai put up, including which versions, what kind of topics, what kind of rates, what kind of quality of service settings, also which operating system and hard drive they use. Full stop. I do not have a reproducer myself.
Okay.
I could we could try to put together one, but yeah, it seems that they get basically really varying results with when they try to use ROSBEG. So ranging from the tool is crashing to not recording to working just fine.
Okay, that's I mean, it's good feedback to have. It can be a little bit hard to act on without more specifics, but we saw that there's at least one seg fault in that was reported when doing testing on Cyclone GDS. So it's likely that's one of the ones that they saw, or at least hopefully it's not a completely unrelated thing. I guess maybe we need to start doing some stress testing. That seems like. I guess the more people we get using it, the better we can. Yeah.
So when you say more specifics, are you saying that we should then add also which RMW was used, or
I think that would be
that we should provide, or that we should provide a reproducer?
I mean, a reproducer case would help a lot, of course, but I understand that especially some of these non-deterministic things can be really hard to reliably reproduce. All I mean is that these are hard problems.
Then
Okay.
also from what I read in this Medium post is like they rely on RTI, if I interpret the first logo straight up on the top correctly. Which most likely also justifies the means that they use the RTI recording stuff. I don't wanna argue here. I'm just saying, like, as a primer, that the serialization from RTI is generally just really bad. Now, if you say you're in a customer relation with them, is there any chance they can actually use, I don't know, Cyclone or FastRDFS to reproduce this? Because like there are a bunch of issues also on ROSBag, which kind of like always circle around the same thing of like, hey, ROSBag doesn't perform, and then you ask for details, and it's like, yeah, we don't have details, we don't have this reproducing example.
Yeah.
I just want to nail down that it's actually ROSBag which is failing, and it's not any kind of communication issues or stuff like this,
Yeah. Let me. Can I get an action item then here to create a reproducer and to actually, I don't know why I forgot to ask which DDS was underneath. I mean, it is highly likely that it is RTI's connects, but it's not it's not 100% sure.
Yeah, it seems likely based on what we're seeing there. Okay, so that's something we can do. I don't know how much resources we actually have to give to this, especially before Foxy. Right now on our side, we have just me working on ROSBag, and I'm trying to get this QoS feature in. Although what we can do is after the API freeze, we can still put some focus onto stability and or bug fixes. That's acceptable for patch releases. So something that might have to happen after the freeze.
Okay. When is the freeze again? Sorry for the side question. It's sometimes in April, right?
Yeah, April 8th, I believe, is the API freeze, the initial freeze, and then there's the release itself is May 23rd.
There is discussion about that we might have to push it a little bit for like landing some of the changes which companies currently work on, but they're like kind of in shutdown mode.
Yeah.
But that would only be an extension for a couple of features, and there would also be like maximum of 2 weeks. That doesn't mean other features should land beyond the 8th of April. It's more like if a couple of features land a little bit after, then that might be fine.
Understood. There's a little bit of wiggle room because of the disruption that everyone's had. But we should try not to use it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty much, because we have one specific one we work on with the company, and they're just like we're like in shutdown for 2 weeks, and we're like, okay. So for that reason, we extended it by a maximum of 2 weeks. But that's not we're going to use all 2 weeks. If the features land by the 8th or by the 9th or by the 10th, we're going to call it frozen. So we shouldn't whatever you want to contribute, you shouldn't rely on that the deadline is beyond 8th.
Yeah, our plan for ROSBag is to get in everything by before the 8th. And then if we start working on bug fixes and stability work, those aren't features and could go into the next patch whenever that happens. Or can
understood.
Yeah. So I guess that's not like a resolution to this conversation, but it's a start of it. I'd like to look at your other things that you've linked here, which is you have a pull request, which is this simple framework for performance testing, which we've been discussing slowly. Oh, I guess not even. We haven't really talked since January.
Yeah, so this is not my pull request. It's all, I guess, Karsten and company's work. I'm just interested in how could we actually help, or how could we advance this? I do think this is actually important, and will probably solve or at least identify some of the issues from my previous points earlier.
Yeah, I hope actually that I can pull some resources in there since it's lying around for quite a while now. I mean, we can take this offline, but like essentially what I'm trying to do here is like all these benchmarks and all the numbers and messages which are described in that Medium post, I would basically just pre-allocate them on a stack and then just call ROS back periodically. Let's say, given that kind of like mimics and shimes away the communication, I would just say like, okay, given that I have all these messages already received, what are the actual performance overheads in the ROS back tool? But yeah,
so the idea to skip the transport layer and just call straight into like storage.
That is correct. Yeah, exactly.
Which I mean that's definitely useful. It doesn't catch any of the threading issues that might exist in transport, but you can test those separately, I guess.
Yeah.
So I have and apologize for that, a non-technical proposal here, which is I have a person. It's a person that wrote launch testing framework, and they're actually available to be contracted. Their background is also Q&A and would be actually perfectly suitable for something like this. My problem is that because of the California labor law, I cannot contract them through Apex AI. Is there anybody on this call that could contract? So Pete Baugman is his name, and put him on this task. And I mean, don't have to answer me obviously now, but that I think would be so he would bring this to a perfection. So if anybody could maybe contract him for this work, please come back to me and I'll connect if the resources are a problem.
Okay, well, we'll say that that's on the table, and anyone who's interested can take that conversation offline. I don't think that we are going to be able to do that on my team, but I don't know anyone else's situation. The other thing was for sim time, and this was just I'm guessing it was a customer ask for this feature. What we have here was someone tried to provide a solution, but it just really wasn't the right approach. And since then, I don't know if we have anyone working on it. Yeah, so I don't think this is going to make it in for Foxy unless someone really jumps in right now. It's getting down to the wire. And if there's no one on this call who's offering to provide the resources, then I'm thinking we don't have it.
So can I then just ask in this case if the approach from Scooby Shy was rejected? Is there so like a specification for the alternative approach laid out here?
I believe so. I think I said it on the other one, which the idea is the approach that they tried was finding topics that did have headers, doing some introspection into the message with a knowledge of CDR, of fast RTPS's serialization, and replaced the timestamp in the header message with the current time. The problem with this was that it made a lot of it made assumptions about the RMW serialization and added dependencies here we didn't want to have, and it also only works on header stamped messages. So the thing that we actually want to do is run an internal clock and publish a clock message on the clock topic. That's the solution that is the right way to go. And I said so here. Maybe I should link it on the feature itself. So I'm going to start drafting this up. Looks like this. Okay. So that's the technical approach. Like, we know what we need to do. It's just that I think these guys, Scoopy and Kick-Ass, had one approach, got excited, and then didn't have the bandwidth to follow up on re-implementing it a different way.
Okay. Can you post the link? I unfortunately cannot see your screen right now.
Oh, yeah. Can other people see my screen? Is it working?
It's probably just me. So sorry.
I can see your screen.
Okay. Is it just showing the browser, or is it showing my whole screen? I never know which one's it's doing.
It shows the browser and all of your tabs.
Yeah, there's a few of them right now. I was in the middle of some nonsense. Okay, so I posted it in the chat. It's ROSBag issue 99, which is support for SimTime. And I started drafting a comment, but I'll finish that when we're off this meeting.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Which is I might even just put it into the description of the issue itself as an implementation suggestion, which is the way I like to word that on issues. Okay, and then for the rest of ROSBag, if we look at, let's see, where's the board? On the QoS issue, if anybody wants to follow my progress, I have put a checklist down here that I'm going to try and keep up to date. I might actually move that up into the issue description. I'm not sure. I believe I can edit that. What is this view? Oh, because I'm on ZenHub, it doesn't have all the same buttons. Okay, anyways, but I've got this checklist on here where I'm keeping the pull requests up to date, and this may expand or contract a little bit as I go along, but for anyone who's interested in the progress of this, that's what's going on, which is I have some basic utilities in. This one I landed last night and then reverted because it was broken, and that was really my bad. I was moving a little too fast. Sorry, everyone who that affected. And then
when you work, something can break. If you don't touch it, it's never going to break, but that's not helping either.
Yeah.
Can you make sure that like meta list is like referenced on the Foxy ticket somehow? That people who on the
yes.
Foxy ticket will just have a pointer to this?
Yeah, I could do that.
Thanks.
Point to OS list meta ticket on the Foxy, which is, that's on ROS2, ROS2?
Yes. I don't know the number out of my head though.
Well, there's not too many.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll put it on here somewhere. Maybe on, I can't edit Thomas's.
No, we can work on that together. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. So we will do that for sure. And yeah, what was I saying? It's coming along. And I have too many tabs, so I can't find it. But you get the idea. So I should have in today, after fixing those builds, the ability to serialize QoS profiles, and I have the ability to query them open already for review, and then probably later today I'll have it up to actually use those QoS profiles to subscribe if they're all the same. And that will, at the very least, solve all the people who just spin up basic sensors and can't record the sensor data profile. So the reason I'm doing it in all these little tickets is so that we can get in as much of the functionality as we can by the Foxy release, trying to make all of it uniquely usable little bits, so that we don't end up blocked on an all or nothing at the wire, and instead we can get in lots of functionality, if not all of it. And that's all I have on that. Did anybody want to talk about anything else or that more? Cool. If that's the case, I'm happy to call it 15 minutes early. No need to take up a whole hour just to fill time. Appreciate everyone's input today and for coming. It's kind of right now a little bit nice to have some social interaction.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you again. Yeah, we'll keep it scheduled for 2 weeks from now, which will be April 10th.
Perfect. Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you.